Hello everyone, Crystal Fisher here. Welcome back to a new Crash Bandicoot video, Crash Twinsanity it is this time, and believe it or not, but I actually have some really cool news, I guess, kind of an update from, again, believe it or not, the former studio head and founder of Traveller's Tales, who developed this game, Wrath of Cortex, and two of my favorite games of all time, genuinely, Toy Story 2 for the PS1 and A Bug's Life for the PS1. Two of my favorite games, one of the best movie games ever made. Anyway, now, John has released a video on his channel, which I'll put a link to in the description, and he commentates over this. I might include some of that commentary in a bit, where basically, a couple days ago, he did a video showing off kind of a prototype version of Twinsanity. And in that version, you could see this section here that he's showing off, and basically people were asking, what's down this hole? And in the original version that he had, the first prototype, there was nothing down here. But in a slightly later development build, you will see, as he's about to show off, there is a new section in the game, and it is called Bug Run. It was cut from the original game, according to him, because it was too difficult. So he basically shows that he comes down the cave here, and this is it. So basically, it's like, I don't know if it was like 100% going to be compulsory or not. He says that it was going to be kind of like an optional side path type thing. Maybe you had to do it, it's probably, obviously, the guess is that there'd be gems in there. But the fact that it's called Bug Run makes me almost think it might have been a separate level as well. I guess the really important, implication of this video as well is that apparently, the dog's coming in with a squeaky toy. I will get him to stop. Anyway, apparently he has more footage. Now, I'll talk about this footage, of course, first, but he actually has more, and so that's led everyone going crazy thinking, oh my goodness, does he actually have more playable footage of the rather famously cut level Gone a Bit Coco, where you played as Coco. So this is Bug Run, and basically he says that, right now we're currently running, forward, but it was going to be a chase sequence where a bunch of bugs sort of come through, litter in, and you've got to, avoid them, much like the boulder levels in the, original Crash games. There was chase sequences in Crash Wrath of Cortex. There was the dinosaur in, what was the level called? The Wizards and Lizards or whatever. But this was apparently too difficult. And I kind of wonder about what must have been like super difficult about it. They also point out that, when they turn around, the camera would be different. You'd have more room to be able to see and stuff. But I guess looking at it when you look at it from the front, you kind of think, could it be that difficult? But my guess is that, the bugs are probably super fast and, probably running, frantically from behind. It does feel more difficult than it would have been. Now, he does suggest that there may have been falling platforms at this point. Obviously, he's using a boundary jump sort of thing. He shouts out boundary break from YouTube in this as well. Clearly, John is, quite knowledgeable about the scene. And I think that, judging by the fact that he's done some Toy Story videos as well, it kind of makes me really excited, actually, that we've got someone now, the head of Traveller's Tales, actually doing videos about the games that he worked on, because he worked on Twinsanity, of course. And so it means that we're going to get a lot more really cool, hopefully more cool footage from Crash Twinsanity, because Crash Twinsanity has always been the what if of the Crash series, because of the again, everything's infamous, everything's famous, but the data loss that basically forced them to start back from the beginning, and then of course being rushed to release, much like all Crash and Spyro games of that era. So it's very exciting to see all this sort of stuff come to fruition, and I'm genuinely appreciative to John for releasing this kind of footage, and I think it's got the Crash community very excited. So yeah, that's where the other path was. So this is actually, I highly suggest you check out the other video he's done. Again, I'll link it in the description, where you actually see, all the differences and stuff like that. I just think it's very exciting that finally more stuff has come up, because it's this game came out over 12 years ago, like 14 years ago or something like that. There it is, Game Hut. Subscribe for the latest videos. I'll put that in there. I'll keep that in there. But yeah, so now I'll just briefly use some of the clips that some of the stuff that John said, just so you guys can believe it. I'm not just making stuff up here.
Okay, so as I say, this is a newer prototype. This was in February, I think, towards the end of February, 2004. So it's a more recent build. So it's obviously in that time before the section was cut, because I think it was cut due to it being just way too hard. You can see here the paintings on the wall. So the one here, which is the normal gameplay route, showing that you jump on the sort of alien mole to get upwards. And there's Neo waiting to trigger that. But if we look the other way, this painting shows this guy being chased by a load of beetles, by the looks of it, or bugs. So this was Bug Run, which was cut because it was too hard. So here's the hole, which in the last prototype was just a hole. You just went in there, there's nothing in it. This is the viewpoint that the level would have played at. So you would have started the level from here, the camera would have swung around, you start running, and then suddenly all these bugs would pour out behind you and start chasing you into the screen. The camera would have probably been further back than this. So you could have more anticipation of the things coming. This is actually quite a long section. There's pits here that you would need to jump over, or it's insta-death. Again here, this is avoiding another pit up these steps. And you see it below, you'd have had to jump that. More pillars to swerve around. And again, you can imagine doing all this backwards with bugs chasing you, not being able to really see what was coming, would be, as the team realised, just a small amount too difficult to do. Avoiding all these hazards, which is why it was cut. And I think there is a similar section later in the game, once the game gets much harder. And then here, this pit here is just, I'm not sure if those moving platforms meant to be here, just too hard. But luckily I have a debug jump which would make boundary break, pleased, to get over that particular hazard, and we can keep making our way down the section. And I would imagine the section would end as you ran through this hole in the wall. Or maybe actually all the bugs would have fallen down the pit that we just had to hover over, and you'd have used platforms to get across. And then this would be a more open area, I guess, with Wampa to collect and explore.
So yeah guys, that wraps it up for today's little Crash Twinsanity video. One of the first of hopefully many. Gone a Bit Coco is of course everyone's most anticipated. I don't even is mine, because like if you actually look at some of the other levels that were cut, like some of the jet board levels and other concepts and stuff like that, and like, you know, boss stuff, honestly, like there's so much interesting stuff from Crash Twinsanity, and I can't wait to see hopefully more of it explored. But again, thank you once again to John Burton for revealing all of this. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back very, very soon with more Crash, Spyro, whatever the heck you want. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.